TED Talks, brought to you by Erbs and Gerbs. Go online and check out their delightful sandwich menus and soups. Order yourself something today.
Ted Schwerzler here from @TL on Twitter, Twins Daily, for another TED Talks Twins. It was a good week for Minnesota after really the Tampa Bay series. They wrapped up a series win against the Mets last weekend. They had some winnable games against Tampa Bay, ended up just taking one of three. However, they lost on Monday by 3 runs, lost on Wednesday by just a run, and then they went on their final true road trip of the season. They do end with 3 games against Colorado, but a 2-team road trip started this week with the White Sox. Chicago was a team that the Twins were probably supposed to compete for the division with. Coming out of spring training and just looking at the schedules and how the teams matched up, Chicago obviously fell off quite a ways ago during the regular season. Minnesota took the first 2 by a combined 20-4 score, won both those games 10-2. It was just not really a competitive series from Chicago, and obviously you'd expect that from a team that is just looking to slog their way through the season or through the end of the year. They were down relatively large to Chicago on Saturday night, ended up making that a game and just lost 7-6. Sunday they come back. Sonny Gray absolutely shoves. Probably could have pitched a complete game, but no reason to stretch him at this point in the season. Minnesota wins 4-0. Emilio Pagan did make it a little bit interesting at the end. Joan Duran did start warming up. However, they win 4-0. Cincinnati now 4-3 will represent their last competitive team, winning team for the rest of the season. You know, Minnesota has won all but one of the series that they played in September, with that being that home series against Tampa Bay. Obviously, with the Reds, they'll see some familiar faces: Casey Legumina, Spencer Steer, Christian Encarnacion Strand. It would be nice to take that series against the one final competitive team they'll play. But Minnesota, at this point, has the playoffs locked up. Cleveland really is not going to come back. The magic number is 6. It's all about positioning at this point, and obviously the Twins can't dictate who they play. The AL West is heavily in flux with Seattle, Texas, and Houston all jockeying for that top spot. Minnesota should get some players of intrigue back this week. Obviously, Michael Taylor is ready to come off of the IL. He's been out for more than 10 days. I'd imagine he probably doesn't see an IL stint, but he could play a game with St. Paul as they finish out their season at home this week. Brock Stewart has been pitching for the Saints. He looked good in his one appearance. I would guess that Minnesota will get him in another game at some point this week at CHS Field. Nick Gordon has played for St. Paul as well. I'm not sure where Gordon finds a spot on the roster with Willie Castro playing so well. And Andrew Stevenson's probably a better base stealer, better fit in the outfield, so Gordon's fit just isn't ideal. Chris Paddock has pitched a game or 2 now on rehab assignment. He hasn't pitched for a few days. He could potentially be a postseason option for the Twins, but I'm not sure where he's going to throw in St. Paul, or if that's the plan. If he does pitch for the Twins, it would obviously be out of the bullpen in the postseason. But Minnesota will look to continue to get healthy this week. Hopefully there's some positive updates on Byron Buxton. Joey Gallo remains on the IL. That one probably is more about positioning and lack of looking to get him at bats more than anything. But Minnesota will return home this weekend, next weekend, face a Shohei and Troutless Angels team, close it out at home with the Athletics, and then go to Colorado before kicking off their playoff swing. So check back next week.